Hey everyone, welcome to 59 Tops Friday, presented by Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. We built the iconic 1959 Topps baseball set, and in this series, we're going through every card to talk about the players, teams, and people who made up Major League Baseball in 1959. Today, we'll cover cards 108 through 115 in the set. Card number 108 belongs to Zach Monroe of the New York Yankees. 1959 was Monroe's second and final big league season. He was signed by the Yankees ahead of the 1952 season, but missed 2 years serving in the military during the Korean War. He returned, but toiled in the minors for 4 seasons and finally made his Yankees debut in June of 1958. Monroe appeared in mop-up duty for the Yankees in Game 2 of the World Series in 1958, with the Bombers eventually winning the series. He pitched just 3 big league games in 1959 and was sent down to the minors, where he remained for the Yankees and later the Reds. As of this recording, Monroe is 92 years old and will turn 93 in July 2024. Card number 109 belongs to Bob Schmidt of the San Francisco Giants. This was the second MLB season for Schmidt. He hailed from St. Louis and was signed by the Giants while they were still a New York team. Schmidt missed 2 minor league seasons while serving in the military during the Korean War. His best big league season was his first one in 1958. As the Giants' regular catcher, Schmidt made the NL All-Star team while hitting 14 homers and batting .244. The following year, he started splitting time between the dish with Hobie Landreth, and in 1961, Schmidt was traded to the Reds. He later spent time in the big leagues with the Senators and Yankees. Card number 110 belongs to George Witt of the Pittsburgh Pirates. This was Witt's 3rd MLB season. Nicknamed Red, Witt broke into the big leagues in 1957 with the Bucks and was an up-and-down swingman-type pitcher for most of his 6-year career. He was outstanding in 1958, tossing 106 innings to the tune of a 1.61 ERA in 18 games, including 5 complete games and 3 shutouts. Witt appeared in 3 games in the 1960 World Series for the Pirates, tossing mop-up duty in the Yankees' blowout victories in that series. His efforts kept other Pittsburgh hurlers fresh as his team won in a thrilling 7-game series. Witt later pitched in Major League Baseball for the Angels and Astros. Following his career, Witt was a high school teacher and coach in Tustin, California. Card number 111 is the Cincinnati Redlegs team checklist. The checklist covers cards 89 through 176 in the 1959 Topps set. The Redlegs had surprisingly been a first division team in the National League in 1956, due in no small part to the historic rookie season of Hall of Fame slugger Frank Robinson. They remained a first division team the following 2 years, but could not sniff a pennant. Cincy hired Mayo Smith to be their new manager in 1959, but he was dismissed after a 35-45 start to the season. Fred Hutchinson came in, and the team did only slightly better, finishing 74-80 and back to the NL's second division. A major Redlegs highlight of 1959 was the sterling campaign of 20-year-old leadoff man Vada Pinson, who hit .316 with 20 homers and led the NL with 47 doubles and 131 runs scored. With many of the same players, the Reds would finally get the NL pennant 2 years later in 1961, their first in 21 years. Card number 112 belongs to Billy Consolo of the Boston Red Sox. This was the 7th MLB season for Consolo. As a bonus baby, Consolo had to be immediately added to the Red Sox roster upon signing in 1953 and made his debut early in the season at age 18. Like a lot of similar players forced to be big leaguers too soon because of the bonus baby rule, Consolo struggled mightily, playing sparingly for Boston through 1958, hitting just .227 and serving as a utility infielder. He later played for the Senators and Twins, the Phillies, Angels, and A's. Consolo had grown up with Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson, and when the latter became the Tigers manager in 1979, he asked Consolo to be his bench coach. Consolo held that role through 1992 and included the 1984 World Championship season. Card number 113 belongs to Taylor Phillips of the Chicago Cubs. 1959 was the 4th MLB season for Phillips. Before going to the north side of Chicago, Phillips started his pitching career with the Braves, where he tossed 73 innings for the 1957 world champion Milwaukee club. The southpaw hurler was traded to the Cubs ahead of the 1958 season, and he threw 170.1 innings for Chicago, the most of any season in his career. Phillips went on to pitch for the Phillies and on Chicago's south side for the White Sox in a 6-year MLB career. His nickname was T-Bone. Card number 114 belongs to Earl Battey of the Chicago White Sox. This was Battey's 5th season in Major League Baseball. He spent most of his time in Chicago as a little-used, strong defensive backup for the Palehoses' primary catcher Sherm Lawler. He did not appear in the 1959 World Series for the pennant-winning White Sox. After the season, Battey was part of a trade with the Senators that sent slugger Roy Sievers to the South Side. The change of scenery was exactly what Battey needed. In his first year with the franchise, Battey hit .270 with 15 homers, won the Gold Glove for AL catchers, and finished 8th in league MVP voting. He hit .302 and won a Gold Glove again the next year when the franchise moved to Minnesota. Battey won a 3rd consecutive Gold Glove and made his first All-Star team in 1962, and then had his best offensive season in 1963, smacking 26 homers, making the All-Star team again, and finishing 7th in MVP voting. Battey led the Twins to the World Series in 1965, hitting .297, making another All-Star team, and earning a 10th place MVP finish. He made another All-Star team in 1966, but a thyroid condition led to him losing playing time in 1967 and his ultimate retirement after that season. He spent most of his post-playing career working in youth recreation and was posthumously inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame in 2004. Card number 115 belongs to Mickey Vernon of the Cleveland Indians. 1959 was the 19th MLB season for Vernon. While he was never quite a superstar, Vernon was one of the steadiest first basemen in Major League Baseball over the course of 20 big league seasons, a skilled batsman who pitchers hated to face. Satchel Paige offered this high praise of Vernon, quote, "If I was pitching and it was the 9th inning and we had a 2-run lead with the bases loaded and Mickey Vernon was up, I'd walk him and pitch to the next man," close quote. The first 7 seasons of Vernon's career were spent with the Senators, interrupted by 2 years of military service during World War II. 1946 was his finest year, winning the AL batting title with a .353 average, finishing 5th in AL MVP voting and earning the first of his 7 All-Star appearances. Vernon played for Cleveland in 1949 and part of 1950 before he was dealt back to the nation's capital. He led the AL in doubles in back-to-back years in 1953 and 1954, and again won the batting title in 1953. He made an All-Star appearance for the Red Sox in 1956, batting behind Ted Williams in the 4th hole in the Red Sox order. Vernon also played for the Indians, Braves, and was briefly activated to play in 1960 while coaching for the Pirates, winning a World Series there that year. Vernon was hired as the first manager of the expansion version of the Washington Senators, spending parts of 3 seasons as skipper there. Vernon then spent decades as a minor league manager, a major league hitting coach, and scout, retiring in 1988 after 52 years in professional baseball. That's going to do it for this edition of 59 Tops Friday on Wax Pack Wisdom. Do you have a story about one of the people, players, or teams we discussed today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. In the video description, you will find our source material for this episode, links to where you can follow us on all social media channels, as well as a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. Please consider a donation to one of them if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.